Hi everybody. Good to see everyone in their Blackberries here. I'm Mike Draper from Raygun, and I've always kind of wondered, or at least especially recently, why politicians aren't taken more seriously for their comedic ability. Because when I hear something like, we want to cut state taxes to add jobs, it always delivered with such a deadpan tone. It always makes me laugh, considering I've run a small business for about the last 5 years. I've added maybe 25 to 30 jobs over that time, and I have never once, when adding a job, considered the state income tax rate. If you're a small business, you're set up probably as an LLC, an S-Corp, so you don't really pay income taxes on the business, you just pay it personally. But say I were going to take my personal tax savings, say we even reduced state taxes by 20%, from about 5% to 4%. If you're making $40,000 a year, that's $400 in savings a year. Now granted, I could add a new job with that savings, it would just take me 100 years. And that probably wouldn't factor into Branstad's hiring budgets. But if you're taking that savings and then cutting out things like pre-K, so I have to take my 4-year-old and put him in daycare, I think that $400 a year is probably going to be offset by the $6,000 a year that I would have to be spending on daycare instead of pre-K education. So then, if the math works, I'm laying off one person every 5 years and hiring every 100. And then if I threw in healthcare costs rising, I'd have to can somebody by this afternoon. When businesses look to open up somewhere, they're looking at the entire package. So you have taxes. You've got, is there a pool of employees I can draw from? You have, is there money, whether it's banking, private investment. When you look at Iowa compared to other Midwestern states, our tax rate is pretty similar to like Illinois, Minnesota. There's minor discrepancies, but it's not one of our big losing points. If you look at things like private equity, venture capital investment, we're about half of what Illinois is. We're a fifth of what Minnesota is. If you look at something like investment for the arts to develop culture, we're about half Illinois. We're like 1/17 of Minnesota. So there are definitely areas where we are losing badly to our competing states. One area where we actually have an advantage is public education. It's kind of the brand of the state. Now, why on earth would you want to cut just a little bit in terms of taxes, not really save anything, not really add jobs, but undercut the core brand of the state? Now, if you're running a company, there are ways to cut money, but if you're cutting money by undermining your entire brand and selling point for what you want to do, that is a big mistake. So I would kind of suggest to the state that instead of focusing on little issues like minor tax cuts that really won't do that much, that it shouldn't more just talk about building the brand of the state, looking what we have and building on that. Thank you.